Tiger Rising, Chapter 10. Rob was sweeping the laundry room when Willie Mae, the Kentucky Star's housekeeper, came in and threw herself down in one of the metal chairs that were lined up against the cement block wall. "You know what?" she said to Rob. "No, ma'am," said Rob. "I'll tell you what," said Willie Mae. She reached up and adjusted the butterfly clip in her thick black hair. "I would rather be sweeping up before some pigs in a barn than cleaning up after the people in this place. Pigs at least give you some respect." Rob leaned on his broom and stared at Willie Mae. He liked looking at her. Her face was smooth and dark like a beautiful piece of wood. And Rob think that if he had been the one who had cut the Willie Mae. She was with her long nose and high cheekbones and slanted eyes. "What are you staring at?" Willie Mae asked. Her eyes narrowed. What you are doing out of school?" Rob shrugged. "I don't know," he said. "What do you mean you don't know?" Rob shrugged again. "Don't be moving your shoulders up and down in front of me, acting like some skinny old bird trying to fly away. You want to end up cleaning motel rooms for a living." Rob shook his head. "That's right. Nobody wants this job. I am the only fool you champ can pay to do it. You got to stay in school," she said, "else you will end up like me." She shook her head and reached into the pockets of her dress and pulled out single cigarette and 2 sticks of 8-ball licorice gum. She put one piece of gum in her mouth and handed the other one to Rob, lit her cigarette, leaned back in the chair, and closed her eyes. "Now," she said. The scent of the smoke and the licorice slowly filled the laundry room. "Go on and tell me why you aren't in school." "On account of my legs being all broke out," said Rob. Willie Mae opened her eyes and looked over the top of her glasses at the Rob's leg. She said after a minute. "How long you had that?" "About 6 months," said Rob. "I can tell you how to cure that," said Willie Mae, pointing her cigarettes at his leg. "I can tell you right now. Don't need to go to doctor." Said Rob. He stopped chewing his gum and held his breath. What if Willie Mae healed him and then he had to go back to school? "Sadness," said. Willie Mae closed her eyes and nodded her head. "You keep all that sadness down low in your legs. You are not letting it get up to your heart where it belongs. You got to let that sadness rise on up." "Oh," said Rob. He let his breath out. He was relieving. Willie Mae was wrong. She could not cure him. "The principal thing it is contagious," he said. "Man aren't got no sense," Willie Mae said. "He's got lot of certificates," Rob offered. "They are all framed and hung on his wall." "I bet he aren't got no certificate for sense though," said Willie Mae darkly. She rose up out of her chair and said, "I got to clean some rooms." She said, "You aren't going to forget what I told you. Both them legs are yours." "No, ma'am," said Rob. "What did I tell you then?" she said, towering over him. Willie Mae was tall, the tallest person Rob had ever seen. "To let the sadness rise," Rob said. He repeated the words as if they were part of a poem. He gave them a certain rhythm, the same way Willie Mae had when she said them. "That's right," said Willie Mae. "You got to let the sadness rise on up." She left the room in a swirl of licorice and smoke. After she was gone, Rob wished that he had told her about the tiger. He felt a sudden desperate need to tell somebody who wouldn't doubt him, somebody who was capable of believing in tigers.